Hi, I'm Kayla Haggett, and this is Qnet News. Fewer options to get their local news. Madeline Villa joins us now with more on this story.
Thanks, Kayla. I'm holding the last ever newspaper published by Belleville News and standing in front of what used to be their offices. Now, what I've heard is last Monday they packed up after news broke that their newspaper, along with 33 other local newspapers across Ontario, were going to be closing. Now, this news comes out of a trade deal that happened to be between two media moguls, Torstar and Post Media. After they ended up dividing their trades in half and shutting them down. The other half will continue to run in the respective communities. Now, why did they cut all these newspapers? The answer is advertising dollars. If the newspapers have no one to compete with, then they don't have to compete for advertising dollars. Now, the community here in Belleville is worried about what this means for them in local journalism, and this is what they have to say.
I think there's a definite value to local newspapers for the communities where these local papers are from. I mean, you can read the Toronto Star, but it's not going to say anything about Belleville.
So it's nice to have different perspectives from different journalists, and when that's taken away, that's jobs that are taken away.
Robert Washburn, although saddened by the loss of his job as a columnist at Northumberland Today, is looking on the bright side.
Those were very old historic papers. They had served communities a long time. It was very much a fabric of the community. And so in that way, it was very, very sad and very tragic. But I also see it, if I could stand back a bit and say, this is an incredible opportunity in two ways. One, it's an opportunity for the local media that are surviving and that do exist to step up, and how are they going to fill the gaps?
Belleville and the surrounding areas will still receive the Community Post, which is a free newspaper, but they will no longer receive the Belleville News newspaper, the Quinte West newspaper, or the Central, Hastings, and Trent Hills newspaper. Those have all folded. Back to you, Kayla.
Thanks, Madeline. A Napanee teen lost his life after a soccer net fell on him last May. Now, his family is fighting to make sure this never happens again. Qnet's Lindsay Heron has the story.
At the bottom of King Street in Napanee, nestled in this quiet neighborhood, is this park. But there's one thing missing: a soccer pitch.
And when I thought of it, even it was like 3 weeks later, really, when I thought how absurd this is, how crazy this is, that a soccer net, of all things, had killed our child.
Earlier this year, on May 12th, 15-year-old Garrett Mills was here, standing between the soccer posts with his best friend, Jared. He was on his first date with a girl named Joanna. He grabbed the crossbar of the net, and the Mills family changed within an instant.
He just simply attempted a chin-up on the crossbar of the soccer net, and it just tipped over. And as the details from the OPP report describe, he let go. He tried to run out from underneath in this split moment that this would have happened. He tripped and ended up falling, and the net fell down. The crossbar crushed his skull.
On November 24th, Dave was with his family at the Ontario Legislature. The first reading of Garrett's Legacy Act was passed.
So it just seems to make sense that there should be some kind of rule, a law, legislation in place that says these movable soccer nets need to be anchored down. No kid should ever be at risk of their life for being under a soccer net.
The next reading is December 7th. Now, if this does become law, all indoor and outdoor soccer nets used by the public would either have to be firmly secured to the ground or to a wall. Lindsay Heron, Qnet News, Napanee.
A member of Belleville's fire department was honored at City Hall on Monday. Firefighter Ed Kooning is retiring after 15 years on the job. Mayor Tasso Christopher gave him a certificate and gift as a thank you for his service to the city. Kooning said he has loved serving Belleville and plans to return to the station as a volunteer. Need can now access a food bank at the college. Qnet's Trish Botter has more.
For students and residents struggling to make ends meet, there's now a campus food bank to help them out. Tyler Reed, a child and youth worker student, helped come up with the idea because he says he saw a need.
Well, you always go with the quote, you see the need, you got to fill the need. And there was definitely a big need that we saw around the school for a food cupboard.
To get food from the cupboard, students need to get a ticket from Student Success, Financial Aid, or the Residence Commons building.
So you will go to the, there are certain people you have to go see at each location. If you go in and ask, hey, I'm here to apply for the food bank, the people will know who you're here to see. And basically, once you sit down with them and talk to them about your needs, but you will get a ticket, and that will grant you access into the food cupboard for the year.
All students can access the food, especially if they're having financial trouble after the faculty strike.
So this is open Monday to Friday. Monday to Wednesday it's open 8 to 6, and then Thursday and Friday it's open 8 to 7.
Students can receive items such as cans of soup, cereal, and water, right down to personal care and cleaning supplies like dish soap and toilet paper. Trish Botter, Qnet News, Belleville.
A new coffee house in downtown Belleville is supporting local businesses one donut at a time. Sophie Dudley has the story.
The maple walnut, the Boston cream, the chocolate.
This is John Doherty, owner of Front Street Perk. He said he decided to open the cafe for his wife.
She always looked after the kids while I worked away from home. 10 days a month I was only home for 15 years, so we did this for her, mostly for her.
Front Street Perk sells products from local bakeries like Dewar's Donuts in Campbellford and butter tarts from Paradise Bakery in Sterling. When asked why he decided to go local, Doherty said, "Why mess with a good thing?"
Nobody can compare. Best donuts you'll find east of Toronto, west of Montreal, guaranteed. Same with the butter tarts, if not anywhere, period. So once you have that, you don't need to go and try and reinvent the wheel.
Not only does the coffee shop sell local baked goods, they also support local artists from the city. The walls showcase pieces from artists like Brad McMillan and Christopher Bennett. Customers agree that supporting local makes sense.
It's always good to support your hometown and support where you're from and support the locals and give back.
Doherty also brings in roasted coffee from Kingston. He said he loves the coffee he serves.
It's definitely my favorite. You walk into the roasters and it just hits you like a wave.
Doherty has plans to bring couches into the seating area of the cafe, and come summertime he wants to sell Kawartha Dairy's ice cream, things he hopes will appeal to all clientele. But so far, he says business has been great.
You have the fresh sweet baked goods and then the smell of coffee, roasted coffee as well. I mean, that's home.
Sophie Dudley, Qnet News, Belleville.
The holiday train pulled into Belleville on Tuesday to a crowd hoping to hear their favorite Christmas classics. Leah Den Hartog has the story.
All aboard the CP holiday train. Belleville is one of the 113 stops across Canada and the United States. Canadian musicians Colin James and Emma Lee entertained the large crowd with a number of original songs and Christmas classics. Mr. and Mrs. Claus even made a special guest appearance. For this mother, the holiday train is special beyond her love of all things Christmas.
Well, they love trains, for one, and I love Christmas, so it's just one more thing, just like the Christmas parade to come do. So, and it's always on my birthday, which is tomorrow, so it's just kind of something we do.
Each year, the event raises food and money for the local food bank. This year, it raised just as much as previous years, filling up the big food truck. The holiday train is a great event for the community outside of its charitable draw.
Well, we just like to get this this event out, be more aware in the Belleville community, because it's great for event for our community, not just for the food bank as well, but it's a good family event for kids. So we just like to see as many people out as possible that can enjoy the event just as much as we do.
One child starting school in the next fall won't let that stop him from missing the 2018 holiday train.
I think I might consider maybe sneaking them out for a little bit to come.
Leah Den Hartog, Qnet News, Belleville.
That's it for news. Here's Bradley Bennett with sports.
Thanks, Kayla. A Loyalist Lancers women's basketball player is leading the OCAA in scoring. Daria Bagajeviva has the story.
Jenny Thompson has the highest number of points in the OCAA with 23.3 points per game. She has been playing for Loyalist women's basketball team for 5 years.
Like, it does feel good. It's the highest I've averaged in my career for the OCAA. I'm obviously hoping it'll continue, but I mean, if it means that we keep winning and the points are more evened out throughout the team, I mean, I'll be happier regardless. Yeah.
Thompson, who is a team captain, says she is lucky to have good and supportive teammates.
I've never been a super outgoing person. That's where I hope that people look up to me in regards to being an example. So I would prefer to show that I work hard instead of announcing it, kind of.
Coach Jamie McCourt agrees. He has coached Thompson for 4 years and says her passion for basketball and her competitive nature are what makes her a good player. In her last year of eligibility, Thompson says she is going to continue playing.
It's hard going from like such a competitive level to like a league sport where people are in it for fun, but obviously I'm hoping to continue it.
The next women's basketball game will be on December 1st in Kingston between Loyalist Lancers and St. Lawrence Vikings. Daria Bagajeviva, Qnet News, Belleville.
A local boxing gym has 2 fighters competing at the Golden Gloves Provincial Championships this December. 16-year-old Dylan Cohen and the gym owner and trainer Matthew Harrison. Tyson Naylor spoke to the duo.
I'm here at Bulldog Boxing Academy in Belleville, Ontario, joined with Matthew Harrison and Dylan Cohen, who are both competing in the Golden Gloves tournament in Toronto early next month. Dylan, how long have you been training in boxing?
Just over a year.
Okay. And how long have you been training for the Golden Gloves?
I don't know, a couple months.
Couple months. And what are your feelings about the event? Are you nervous? Are you excited?
Excited.
Yeah?
Yeah.
And how many times have you boxed in your, in the last couple of years, or in the last year? In a competition?
Twice.
Twice?
Yeah.
Okay. And Matthew, you're the owner and trainer here at Bulldog Academy. How long have you been in this business?
We've been open for about 3 years now, but I've been boxing for around 17.
Okay. And you're competing in the Golden Gloves as well. What are your thoughts on the upcoming fight? Are you nervous? Are you excited?
Just pretty excited.
Yeah. How often do you compete in these events?
Usually about once or twice a year.
Okay. And what are your thoughts on Dylan as a boxer?
He's all right. Yeah, he's pretty good. He's got dedicated, and he's always here. He's here every day. Works out at home, so he's dedicated to the sport.
And Dylan, what are your future plans for boxing?
I don't know, try and stick with it, see what happens.
Okay. And Matthew, when it comes to Boxing Academy, what are your plans for the future?
Hopefully we just stay busy, keep new kids coming in. Our youth program's getting pretty busy. Our intermediate class, teenagers coming in, give them a place to go off the street, so it's pretty good.
Well, we both wish you the best of luck.
Thank you.
Tyson Naylor, Qnet News, Belleville.
There's been a few games across a variety of leagues this week, starting with Monday when the Trenton Golden Hawks won 5-4 against the Burlington Cougars. Then on Tuesday, the Loyalist women's basketball team lost by 2 points to Algonquin College. Coming up this Friday, the Dukes will be playing the Whitby Fury in Wellington, and then in the AHL, the Belleville Senators played the Val Rockets on Wednesday night, winning 3-2. The Sens play again tonight at 7 o'clock against the Toronto Marlies. And that's it for sports. Back to you, Kayla.
Bradley, that's our program. For news anytime, go to our website, qnetnews.ca. For breaking news, follow us on Twitter at Qnet News. I'm Kayla Haggett. From all of us in the Qnet Newsroom, thanks for watching.